Hello, teacher. My name is Stefanya Gómez García, and I'm going to share with you the task 6 project yourself with the principal ideas of my side about the ideal English teacher. Okay, let's go. Firstly, I want to share some general characteristics about the ideal English teacher. So, the ideal English teacher is the central figure as an example to follow. Taking into account that the teacher is not only a guide in the acquisition of knowledges, but is the basis for the configuration of the identities of their students. Also is an inspiration of love for the language. So, no one can love what they don't know. That is why the teacher has the responsibility of encouraging love for the language through learning strategies. Is also the facilitator of connecting students with the outside world. Teaching a language is not only based on the transmission of grammar, but goes further. It focuses on helping to create a connection with the culture of the language. Is also the motivation to create a space for mutual learning. The most important thing in learning is that there is transfer of ideas by the teacher as well as the student to achieve meaningful learning. And finally, one that impacts the life of its students through the management of the 4 languages skills. Knowing how to handle the 4 English skills gives the student the security about the knowledge that the teacher is transmitting to them. Now I'm going to explain the main ideas about the 4 English skills. So the first skill is a speaking skill. That is a multifaceted skill. That is why the ability to speak doesn't focus only on knowing how to speak, but also has very important elements that enhance the skill, like the ability to communicate fluently, which refers to the appropriation of vocabulary that allows the flow of words without effort. Also, model clear and precise pronunciation, because phonetics and phonology are essential in the learning and teaching of English to achieve adequate understanding when we are speaking. Create a dynamic environment. The speaking skill is an ability that requires the design of spaces that promote conversations in real context in order to learn useful vocabulary. And finally, critical thinking prevails to be able to communicate with the modern world. Also is for this reason the importance of create spaces to promote conversations in real context, especially with recent issues, with the purpose of asking open questions and allow students to respond from their point of view. Continue with the listening skill. Firstly, the auditive comprehension. The ideal teacher must have the ability to accurately understand what his students want to communicate and attend to those needs. Then, teach effective listening strategies. The skill of listening is not only based on understanding what is heard, but the understanding of what is heard is essential, and for this is necessary for the teacher to transmit strategies that help to have an active listening. Third, highlight the importance of listening, because the listening is considered as the basis of other skills. So that's why the student should begin to perfect this skill first. In the 4th place, select authentic materials. In many cases, the student doesn't make an effort to learn because the material is not of interest to them. which is why the teacher must propose a different alternative to practice this skill, such as videos on YouTube, music, podcast, etc. And finally, this skill allow the appreciation of linguistic and cultural diversity. Through listening, you can appreciate the linguistic diversity that exists even though it is the same language. Since there are differences in the accent and pronunciation of the words, allowing you to explore new cultures with this thematic. Okay, let's go with reading skill. Teach effective reading techniques. Teach strategies to read in a better way is very important for students because these knowledges can help to improve the comprehension of short and long tests. Then encourage a love for reading. The teacher must show love for reading and demonstrate the great things that can be discovered through the reading. Help them find the favorite genre. In many cases, students aren't passionate about reading because they haven't found the correct genre, which is why the teacher must provide test options that allow students to discover their tastes and passions. Also motivate to form well-informed citizens. After having instilled a love for reading by finding their favorite genre, little by little, that interest and that culture will be transmitted by wanting to learn about real topics that help cultivate critical thinking. And finally, awaken curiosity about the world around them. By discovering the wonderful achievement that can be achieved through reading, curiosity comes to the subject naturally, creating infinity of questions in their head, which lead them to read interest topics to find those answers. Okay, continue with the last skill, writing. Teach grammar and sentence structure. I consider that this topic is essential because some students can't understand the grammar in Spanish, so it's difficult to transfer a good knowledge about it to the English language. For example, in my personal case, I could understand the sentence composition in a class of English with my English teacher in extracurricular classes because I couldn't understand Spanish, and when I could understand, I could advance in the language. Second, clear, consistent, and persuasive expression. In some cases, the students have a good manage of the speaking skill, but they have a difficult to express in writing form. This is why the teacher has to teach how to communicate their ideas and emotions through the words. Third, encourage creativity and originality. Nowadays, with the advance of technology, it is so easy to find several tests on the web, and with the AI, you can create tests that look like they were written by oneself. So the teacher has the responsibility to encourage the creativity and originality to avoid plagiarism. Fourth, teach how to transfer writing to real context. Social networks are very important part of people's lives. So the students must learn how to use the grammar and other essential elements when we are writing, with the purpose of knowing to communicate in real context. And finally, empower them to be effective communicators. With the social media and the growth of different platforms on web, the people has the power of words to impact other lives through their publications. For this reason, it's fundamental that the teacher instills in his students values that can be transferred to achieve impact in a good way. Thanks for your attention. See you in another video. Bye.